you so much, for joining us, and thank you so much, Marcelo, the Honorable DCM. Thank you so much, Instituto Cervantes, Isabel, the cultural manager here, the director, Maria, ambassador of Argentina, Mariano, who's a great cultural ambassador for both our countries. He's really amazing. The architect wife, Barbara, who is really very, very deeply invested in bringing India and Argentina together. So I really feel privileged because I shared a very, very strong and long association with both Instituto Cervantes as well as with Argentina. And today, we had this very, very special film. This is a film, which is not just about words. There's so much more. And sometimes, as the great Charlie Chaplin said, the words can be really futile. But I think today the words are also going to mean a lot because we have with us the director and we have with us, the amazing person who's going to tell us some amazing insights about Tango, And of course the film, the sophisticated world of the Tango. What made you bring these two worlds together?
Sure. Firstly, this is overwhelming to see this packed auditorium to watch the movie. I'm so grateful that you guys stayed till the end. I hope it's for more than just the Argentina empanadas and cocktails that follow, but thanks a lot. I'm a tango dancer myself, and tango came into my life during COVID, where we were kind of isolated from other people, and it really made a difference in finding that connection and finding that human touch that I was missing for so long in that period of time. It was very difficult for a lot of people. And Manish, who's my teacher and who also plays the teacher on screen and also teaches with Gladys incidentally when she's in Pune, and I were talking about what a privilege it is to be exposed to such a wonderful dance and to experience this connection with another human being in the form of a dance. That why isn't it more accessible to a more general public? And when we were talking about this, we talked about how in India in particular, and also in many other cultures in Europe and so on, it really is accessible only to the elite, the privileged part of the world. Whereas in Argentina, the roots really are like tango is for everyone, right? So that's kind of what we wanted to explore, and we thought, okay, it would be interesting to see if a rickshawala came into our community, how would we embrace that? And how would he feel in a community that is so elite, where even intimacy and things that you see that are not very common in, at least openly common in the Indian culture happen. So that's kind of why we used this story to kind of express that.
Tango, since you work with the Indian community a lot, would love to have your thoughts on what it is like to communicate in the language of Tango with Indian people, and also what are your thoughts on this film?
Buenas noches a todos. Gracias por hacer esta película. Because since long time I'm teaching all over the world, 34 years already.
Wow.
Now 12 in India, visiting regularly. And it's probably my favorite experience here because tonight there's many of my students here.
Can we have the hands up? Oh my God, yeah, wow. You're really bringing Tango to India. Wow, amazing.
It's also there. The exchange of cultures and what the results from that. This is the interesting thing, because you don't know the lyrics of tango. Most of them, they've never been in Argentina because it's so far and costly. But the sensibility that Indians have, I cannot compare with any other country in the world. I live in Europe, I'm based in Europe in the last 35 years. At the present, I'm resident in Qatar, first tango teacher there, since then it's official, it's legal. And I have a wonderful project for this year. And it's to compete in Buenos Aires in the World Championship with an Indian.
Wow. And how long does it take to bring them in the comfort zone and making it as natural for them as, say, an Argentinian?
It depends on the culture, how long they will feel good. The challenge is the abrazo. Yeah, it's always the contact between bodies. In the north of Europe, in India, less, because in the beginning it seems like, but we don't used to do that. But after a while, they are the best.
The magic takes over.
Yeah.
How beautiful. Saya, there was a very conscious move. You really made us understand and you really transported us in those two different worlds. I could see that this is Malhar and he is having some issues. There is a sense of discomfort initially. He is not able to have that level of comfort, while, doing this tango. How challenging was it to make it look as organic as possible? Of course, I understand that since Malhar is a non-dancer, it was, a little more helpful for you. But it really comes out well, that this thing that she also touches upon, that initially, with communities or with groups of people who are not as comfortable with the physical contact, it's a little bit of a challenge. So how conscious were you in depicting this?
Very, very conscious. I think that's one of the cruxes of the film, is just his journey and how he gets comfortable with the dance. So even things like his posture, and this is very deliberate. So we chalked out the entire movie in terms of different stages of the film and what his posture should be. So even when riding the rickshaw, in the beginning, it should be a little slumped over riding. And then tango gives you that confidence when you're walking, and his posture and his outlook changes. But because films are not shot synchronously, right? You film scenes not in the same order. It was a deliberate thing.
Nailed it, I would say, if ever there was something that could have been a challenge, you really, nailed it on the big screen and we all, saw it unraveling itself. Could you tell a little about, the experiences of watching this film here with this amazing audience, because as a dancer, as a teacher, you have experienced that energy. But to see it unraveling on the screen, what was the experience like?
I was so touched because all happened in India, but sometimes I was thinking about those little neighborhoods in Buenos Aires, suburbs, and it's similar. It's totally, we are so close, so different at the same time, but this is the magic.
And so big round of applause to wonderful lady, who is really inculcating the DNA, Indian DNA with the charms of tango, and also big round of applause once again for Saya, who has really made this beautiful film, which I think really takes the idea of Lavani and tango together to the next level.